Hello.
Okay, hi. How you doing?
Thank you, buddy.
um, Hi, girls and guys. Okay, so we are back. This is one that is way overdue. We've got Darren and his team from Paarl Trails. You just can't see them; they're off camera. But we've been wanting to get Darren on for a long time now because they do some really amazing work. Not a lot of people are aware of what you guys actually do and what the underpinnings of the business is all about. We also chat Bike Fest Paarl, which is going to be amazing. But I think before we get to that, Darren, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're at his beautiful home on a beautiful farm, and it's just magical here. So for those watching the podcast and not listening to it, it is unbelievable. So thank you. Darren, the business, not just Paarl Trails. You want to tell us how this all got started?
I think it's a lot of faith, a lot of guidance. When we were up in Joburg, it's funny. Today is 8 years that we've been here.
No.
It feels like yesterday. When we were up in Joburg, obviously there's such limited space there, and we used to ride at a place called Teak Place, and it closed down. And we were like, yesterday, what are we going to do? We want to start riding. So a couple of mates and I started chatting to some landowners in the cradle of humankind, and we built our first park.
So is that you guys?
Yeah. So we built High Safari and Cradle. We built all the trails in the cradle of humankind, and at a place called, they changed the name now to Cradle Moon. And it's still a very, very special place. And we built a couple of other parks. We had a park at Silver Star called Hobby Park and all of that. But at the same time, obviously, like we all know, trail centres and trails don't really pay the bills and that. So I was contracting to ASG with Wynand. De Villiers, amazing guy. Yeah. And we used to do quite a couple of events around the country. And from those events, about 4 of them used to be down here in Paarl. So I used to organise the Val de Vie race, and then it was Tour of Good Hope and the Sunlam Invitational here at Reeboks. And that's how we got to know the town. And every time I'd go back, I'd say to Yolandi, you know what, we don't realise how amazing this town is. Yeah. Obviously, being up in Joburg, and she's the foundation and the rock of our family, you know, having a kid and a husband that's on the spectrum is not the easiest for her, and so being in open spaces and that is important handy for us. And Albie that owns Reeboks Kloof and Charles Back that owns Fairview, we got to know them quite well, and it took them about a year to convince us, but we eventually moved down, and we arrived down here, and with absolutely we knew we got Reeboks Kloof, a guy by the name of an absolute legend by the name of Hans Degenaar. He's actually become a very good friend of ours and very close. He'll be helping with Bike Fest as well. He built the initial trails at Reeboks. And obviously, you know, once you build it, you've got to maintain it. So a lot of the trails weren't maintained and that type of stuff. So we came in and we had this, call it little foundation, and we wanted to almost like what do you want to call it, a thanks to Hans, refurb the trail. So we literally started from scratch and we built everything again, and then started expanding from there. It was absolutely crazy. I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's not been the easiest, because up there in Joburg you get like 3,500 people a month through your trails. Yeah. So very arrogantly we come down here, and this thinks the same is going to be down here, but there's so much amazing trails down here. Yeah. We built Reeboks Kloof, and Andrew Neertling and Jan helped me with the first ones, and we would build, and just the opening weekend comes and we like ready, and like 4 people pitch up, and I look at Jelani and I'm like, oh. And that first month it was like, not close. Yeah. But I mean, we honestly believed in this vision, and it's been a lot of times of back and forth, and a lot of stages of, are we going to actually carry on or not carry on, and we've just built the network slowly.
But I mean, what are you guys? You guys are sitting at quite a substantial.
We're touching on 200 now of Ks on and around Paarl Mountain. I mean, there's a very. I mean, you were at that Ashes to Action. There's a very special story around that. I mean, we had Reeboks and we started with Spy Street, and then we looked at this mountain and we're like, why don't we, our vision even up in Joburg is not so much about the business, it's about how do we create community, how do we get the venues involved in that, and Paarl is just perfect for that. And so I started going to see landowners, and these are farmers that have been here for 4 generations, whatever. You can imagine pitching up there, and I'm like, hello, Wim, I'm Darren, I'd like to build some trails on your farm. And they look at me and they're like, wat rook jy? We abruptly realized, listen, it's not going to be that easy.
Yeah.
But as life has it, we met a man by the name of Wim J.D. Kirsten. They're one of the biggest landowners here in Paarl North. And somehow we just connected, and just an amazing person. Get a little bit with Wim J.D. He literally bought into what we in this vision, and he took me in his bakkie around the mountain, and we went to go and see various landowners, and he would sit there and say, hey, let's give this a go as a community or whatever. And so he was a critical part of what we have today.
So he believed in not just in you, but the whole making Paarl a destination.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And obviously Charles and Wim Albie from Reeboks, and then having Drakensberg Municipality jump on board, which
that's a game changer.
We can't. I cannot say enough about this municipality. You hear stories around South Africa and that, but when you've got a municipality that genuinely cares about the people and tourism and wanting to help and that type of stuff, it's a game changer.
Yeah.
We're very blessed, and we've got 56 landowners, we've got a lot of maintenance and all of that, but we've got an unbelievable team. And
talking about the team, how big is the team? I mean,
it varies from year to year, and depending on whether we're going to build and what we're going to build. I always say to Duan, he rolls his eyes at me when the end of summer comes, because every year we sit down and say, that's it, we're not building more trails, we've got enough trails, we're going to start shaping and molding or whatever the case may be, and then something happens and we've got to build more trails. And he's like, okay, here we go again, But it varies, anything from 15 guys up to about 40 guys. Okay. It's a bit different than a lot of the other trail parks do, because we hardly use machines.
Yeah.
Guys like Duran and Jan and Andrew and those guys, they're amazing, and we bring them in when we need machine work. But we honestly believe, and I know it's not ideal, but a machine can do 6 or 7 guys' work, and you can do it a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But our project is around the work. It's around creating the work, and so we use that as a foundation.
Come back to that. We were actually chatting about it off camera, and you were actually mentioning that this forms part of the business model. This is actually what underpins the business. So I don't know if you want to just maybe touch on that. And
Hero Legacy is in all honesty the foundation of our business. That's the vision. That we've got Paarl Trails, which is the brand and all of that, but everything is around community and building community. So we've got skills development programs where we bring guys in that don't have jobs, and we take them through like a 4-phase program where we teach them how to build trails and maintain and help with events and all of that.
Yeah.
Granted, some of them last 2 weeks and they go, but then they make space for somebody else. And so we've got this revolving door going.
Yeah.
But for every 10 or 20 guys we bring through the program, we get 1 or 2 guys that are amazing.
Yes.
And over the last couple of years, we've got guys that were with us that are up in Mpumalanga working on farms there, George, wherever. There's so many guys that have, because they've got that skill, and we want them to go and find better jobs.
You're actually empowering them to go out into the workplace.
And they then make space for the new guys to come in, and so we go. So we've got that with the skills development program and the trail building and the maintenance and that, and then we've got the Hero Legacy, which Yolandi and Duan and Caroline really focus a lot. Obviously, that's Yolandi's passion, and it has always been. And there's so much you can go through with that, but that's what we do. That's where we focus on, and then you've got the memberships, which we formed that alliance with Winelands Trail, so we started that with them, and that's really doing well.
You've got your hands full.
No, if you don't have Oaks and a bunch of guys and a wife and Caroline and the rest of our team and that are really committed to it, it just can't be done. It's about making sure that we all we're all looking at the same hopeful future. And see how
So,
we
question
go.
on everyone's lips, obviously: do we get new trails this year? What's the decision?
Yeah, they are. Duan's rolling his eyes again, but yeah, we're busy with a couple of new sections. Obviously, Reeboks. It's been a very difficult year for us, with the fire on Reeboks and on the mountain, and then all the storms and the damage and that type of stuff.
You guys have been hit left, right, and
Yeah,
center.
it's been a challenge, but you look at it and you take the positive out of it and sit down and say, okay, fine, we're going to rebuild, but now it's given us the chance to, why don't we do this section and this section and this section.
And it gives you an opportunity to do it the way you want to do it now.
Yeah, so we're excited about what's coming this summer and see where we go,
Oh, and then talking about summer, the big one, Bike Fest Paarl. You obviously are not stressed about it. You haven't lost any hair. You're not looking tired. But I think building on from last year, fantastic event. I think obviously it took a bit of a knock with the weather. So we're hoping for better weather this year. But it's a whole new event with a new venue, new events, new people coming on board to exhibit their goods. You want to tell us maybe just a little bit?
Yeah, I think we were very, again coming back to Paarl Trails. Honestly, the reason that Bike Fest happened is this was an idea years ago, probably 5 years ago, looking at Sea Otter and you're looking at all these other bike festivals, and we're looking and we're saying, but why doesn't South Africa have something like this? And then you look at Paarl and say, you've got all these trails. You've got the retail and the residential and that behind it. Why don't we try something here? And obviously it wasn't the right time, and we decided to pull the trigger last year. And we were very surprised at how it did. It was like almost like a proof of concept.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was like 6,000 people came through, even with the last day being rained down. So we were very blessed and just sitting back and saying, yes, sir, how can we do it? So this year has been more about, that's what Bike Fest was. We learned a lot of lessons around, a bike festival is actually not about the racing.
Yes.
It's about a bunch of guys and girls and kids and families coming and just enjoying a whole lot of events, and not just doing one event. How do we make it possible that they can do 3 or 4 events over the weekend? And then you've got the expo and you've got bike rentals, you've got skills clinics. And so we took that and we said, okay, fine, what events will meet that that concept? How are we going to reshape the expo and all that, make it a bit bigger? And so we came to Spice Route and 27th to 29th of September. And
I think what people don't know as well, you guys have done a lot of work at Spice Route. So there's new sections of trail. There's a new downhill track. So, you guys are going to be doing enduro. There's a whip-off. I don't think we've had that here anywhere yet, ever. So there's that. There's downhill. There's cross country. There's marathon. There's stuff for the kids. There's a ton that you guys are putting into, and that's only what we know of. Darren's obviously keeping some of it close to his chest, but exciting times. And people can just obviously go to, there's a website, bikefestpaarl.com, I think it is. And you'll be able to see all the events, get your entries done. It's all there, super simple. And also if you want to exhibit, same place?
Yeah, everything's on bikefestpaarl.com. You can enter multiple events if you want to. There's relay events where you've got teams where you can bring a bunch of mates together. And we've tried to really make the events that we're putting on gravel. Really, it's not even the marathon distances. What we did is say, if you're going to be doing hopefully 2 or 3 events over the weekend, you don't want to go and do 80Ks. You're going to be dead. You're not going to be able to do other events. So let's reduce the distance. The marathon, we've got the longest distance is 60 Ks. So you can still come back, enjoy the afternoon, bike wash, go and enjoy the expo, enjoy all the entertainment. We've got loads of entertainment and that's happening, and Spice Route is synonymous for that. So we're very excited about that.
And obviously,
like a weekend.
Great food.
Yeah.
And amazing wine. And Melissa's hinting in the back there, and beers. So, look, you couldn't have chosen a better venue.
I think so. Again, I think what people need to realize with this type of thing is that we don't have a title sponsor. The market is difficult, so we're growing it step by step. We believe so much in this Bike Fest that even with those challenges, we want to continue with it. So it's about the industry really jumping on board, which they are, and sitting down and saying, we're all buying into this vision going forward.
Only
how do
good
we
things
make
can
it
come
together?
from it.
And take it step by step, and hopefully this year is a bit better than last year, and next year is a bit better, and hopefully in a couple of years we've got a rival to see out there.
Yeah, you never know. We can only wish that it's going to get there. But so for Bike Fest, it's not just using the Spicery trails. You guys are going to use all the entire mountain. So that's, how cool is that? And you get to see and ride pretty much some of the best trails the Western Cape has to offer, and all over a weekend. In multiple events. So that's, it's absolutely fantastic. We've covered the entries. That's all Bike Fest Paarl. Routes for these sort of things, are they coming out in
we've opened up the entries. Obviously, we're going to be releasing the routes over the next couple of days and weeks and that type of stuff.
Okay.
But we've really tried to showcase the best of, the enduros. Absolutely, we spoke about it a bit earlier. I'm very excited about that. The downhills on the new downhill track. The XCMs are great and all that. So we really try to focus on the trails, and Duan and Fran and the rest of the guys are really doing amazing work there. And then we're sitting and saying, what if people want to come and they might want to do a couple of events, but they've got an analog bike. So we've got obviously a rental fleet that people can rent bikes. We've got skills clinics happening. We've got the Trail Angels with Nikki and them that are going to be doing ladies rides. We've even got a night ride that the guys are going to do.
I'm quite excited. Our lights are charged and ready to go.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah. Good. Thank you.
No.
It's, we actually, you guys will see, we'll overlay some video, but we went up to see some of the devastation that the fires and the rain caused, and the amazing work that Darren's team are doing to get these trails rehabbed and also new trails. And it's just like a thank you from us, because without you guys, we wouldn't be able to have fun. And we literally do it to have fun, and you guys enable that. And I think a lot of people aren't aware of the amount of hard work that goes into this. It's not just digging soil, but it's the stress of getting people onto trails and making sure the teams, and you guys are doing that while developing people. Massive, massive thank you. And
I think the Oaks are, the true heroes, and they just don't get the recognition, and that's why we really try and focus. And the same as on many other trail networks in the country is, the trail builders are actually the heroes. They just do unbelievable work in the heat and the rain, and so that we can all enjoy our bikes and that type of stuff. So it's only a pleasure for us, and hopefully lots more to come.
Well, we need to get Duan on in one of the future videos, because we've got Bennett actually called us up in the week and said, I'm ready to go and do this podcast thing. So I'm excited to see. We're going to start chatting to the trail builders just to give people a bit of a platform and explain what goes into this trail building thing, because I don't think people are aware. They just they pick up their bike, they go ride, they complain because trails aren't right or whatever it is. And I think there's more complaining than rejoicing and appreciating the people that build these trails. But anyway, enough rambling on about that. Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you for inviting us out and for showing us the awesome work you guys are doing. So, Bike Fest Paarl, we're going to put the link down below. So please go check it out. Enter as many events. Our plan is to do the pump track relay, which, yes, that is an actual event, and the enduro. And hopefully Darren allows e-bikes down the downhill track, and then we might do that as well. But yeah, so exciting times. Please support it. Please come check out these trails. We're going to link to all of the videos that we've done at Reeboks Kloof and Alun, and yeah, we've pretty much covered a video for every single trail on this mountain. So yeah, check it out, and we'll be back. Bike Fest Paarl. We're going to do some, Melissa and I are going to do, once the routes are revealed, we're going to go do some videos and film all the routes for you guys so you'll be able to see what you're going to race on the day. But for now, thank you, Darren. Duan at the back there, Francois, we appreciate it. And we'll chat to you guys soon. Cheers.